cute.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Booksine.
Smashes.
Definitely have done that one before. I'm Kristin, and with me
but
I
not
have
with that
Just knocked your
accent.
camera.
Not with that accent.
Everybody
that
calm
sounded
down.
like a
Smashes.
Jim Carrey in
Everybody
in Bruce
settle
Almighty.
down.
You're not my teacher,
I'm Kristin, and with me I have
Snaps. Erica.
Maria. Why are we snapping?
That's how like they calm kids down in class.
Is it? She usually just puts her finger up.
We're off to a rough start. This is
Episode what of the day? 3?
episode 3 of the batch.
This is when things go downhill.
Also gonna be my least favorite.
Yeah.
So there's that. Sorry about the energy. I'm just a little off right now because
It's
I feel
Twilight.
like
It's Twilight, y'all.
feel like I've been forced into this thing that never ends.
But this is over. This is it. This is the end.
No, there's still
no,
one
this is
more.
part 1.
We're not doing part 2.
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't
you think we're just
we're
gonna
just gonna
stop?
end it here?
Hold on.
Maria, what's wrong with you?
I watched both parts yesterday so that we can just talk all about it today.
No, I told you we're doing part 1, and I even said the word more content. I said more content. Are you even a content creator?
No, I'm not. I'm very bad at this.
If the studios can make more content and more,
Yeah.
we
So
should be able to
we are pulling a Breaking Dawn and we're
Yes.
making a 2-parter.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is part 1. This is our movie episode. If you think we're okay,
3 books in a
She's
movie,
crying.
baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's crying.
I read the book
Or
too, and
folks.
then I watched both movies yesterday.
Well, I told you not
That's
to.
rough. That's a rough day.
Oh my
I told you not to.
God.
Well, think of it this way: you don't have to watch it again.
No, I'm gonna have to because I forget.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it again. I thought part 2 was the best one.
It is the best one.
Okay.
Actual stuff happens.
All right, here's what's happening. We're talking about Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, except this episode is about the movie Breaking Dawn Part 1.
I
This
misunderstood the assignment.
is not about the book. This is about the movie. However, I'm sure Maria will throw in a
I
couple
have
book
to
things.
because I fucking read it. I have chapter notes.
That's good. Then okay, that's great. Maria will be able to ground us with the book side of things. But I'm specifically, and I think Erica even too, will be specifically talking about what happened in the movie because there's a lot to say. We are going to spoil, we're going to swear, and we're going to talk about sex. However, I will argue that if you have not watched Breaking Dawn by now, like, don't even bother. I hadn't until last night. This is my first time watching this movie.
This isn't for people who are like, oh, let me try Twilight. The boat has sailed.
Yeah,
You don't think that's
you've
a thing?
already been on this cruise ship. You're one of those geriatrics that retires on a cruise ship.
This boat has fucking sailed.
You
And
think?
we're in the Bermuda Triangle right
Yeah.
now.
I would
You ain't
argue
coming on this boat.
I would argue there might be some teenagers out there just getting into Twilight.
No way.
No.
Really?
I think Twilight is one of those millennial things that
I
only stays with
disagree.
millennials.
I think they would read it if they did and go, what is this garbage?
Okay.
Yeah, if
You
they
think?
read it now, what they're doing is they're
No.
picking it apart. Yeah, they're
If
picking
you're
it
a
apart for
14-year-old right now,
they are picking
or
it apart
a
for the
12-year-old.
Yeah.
bullshit that it was before. Like he watches her while she sleeps. Everything we say as adults, those 14-year-olds are saying
How did we not realize when we were younger?
because they
Because we're
glorified
fucking
it.
stupid.
And listen, I have a problem.
Okay.
They grew up with the internet. They know they
That's
know
true.
so much more now.
I know we
They're
grew
so
up. We grew up with
desensitized.
the internet. They grew up with an established
media.
internet.
They grew up in the internet.
in
we
the
grew
internet.
up as it was created.
We grew up with the internet.
They grew up
Exactly.
in the internet. That's good.
in
Yeah.
the internet.
I like that.
That's
They were
it's
in
a
it.
very good point.
It's like on Long Island and in Long Island.
Fair enough.
I'm not from New York, so I don't know.
Breaking Dawn.
Breaking Pond.
Breaking Dawn, more like breaking yawn. Am I right?
You love those jokes, huh?
What's the last one called?
Breaking,
Breaking Dawn
Dawn.
Part 2.
Part 2.
They didn't even
Oh, they
change
didn't
the
even change
fucking
it.
name. Okay, this was one book though, right?
Yeah.
But 2 movies. Why? I need to know. Why did
Harry
they make
Potter
this?
did it.
Because Harry Potter did Deathly Hallows in 2 parts.
There was no reason. There was no
There
substance.
was literally a fight.
I literally
back
just
in
said
the
it.
day. There was a full-on war between everybody who loved Twilight and all the Harry Potter fans.
Okay.
And they're like, what's better? Twilight, obviously. And they're like, nah, Harry fucking Potter. So then Harry Potter did Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah. Which makes sense. There was a lot.
It makes sense. Harry Potter had an actual, like, a lot was
Plot.
happening in the
Yeah.
last book.
Yeah.
I was not mad about it.
Breaking Dawn put it in 2.
I just don't. There's no substance to these movies. There's no substance.
To be fair, though, Breaking
fair.
Breaking Dawn was almost is 800 pages.
Yes, it was fucking
The
long.
first 30 minutes of the movie was a wedding. Should we do the 60-second? Maria's going to do it. Maria, you're
I
going
don't
to
think
do
we've
it.
been doing the 60 seconds
For the
we have.
movies, but however, she had read the book recently.
So
too.
I'm in my head. This is part of the book as well.
Okay,
So I'm just doing
yeah.
the 6 seconds.
Let's
book.
just do 60 seconds of Breaking Dawn. But part 1. Can you keep it to part 1?
Holy shit! Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This
should be-
not much of part 1.
This should be easier for you guys. Actually, this should be very easy. Not a lot happens
756 pages.
Yeah.
for the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. If you're new here, we do this thing on the podcast where we
Someone said
attempt.
this is their favorite Twilight book. Someone call her. That was in 2013. What happened to you? Who's your favorite one?
We do this thing on the podcast where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less.
5 stars for what?
For what?
We do this
Maria-
thing on the podcast that we
Yes,
explain
we
the
already
plot
did. I
in
already
6
said
seconds
it.
or less. For the movie last time for Lost City, we were doing like, the
didn't
round
work.
robin. It went terrible. We're gonna just do back
Which I want to talk about. Because you guys got all mad. It has to be a full sentence. When you do the round robin thing, it's so much more fun when you say like, she was a girl who, and then you have to finish that part because one sentence for you guys turned into 5. You can say
yeah,
was not-
because for 2 minutes we
every
can't.
60 seconds that we do
Why is
is
she
one
yelling at me?
second. Every
is
60
she-
seconds we do, you guys just go on a long fucking sentence, and it's no. From now on, we do it my way, folks.
Kristen's
idea.
entering her villain era, apparently. Didn't know.
Because I'm pissed. I
It was
re-listened.
like it was very like Penguin Joker. I don't even know,
what
like
happened there.
Batman villain esque. It's
I
very
am upset.
unsettling.
I hope you guys know this is headphones, and I'm just hearing you
Yes,
yelling
good.
at me.
Engulfing it. This is the...
Engulfing it? What?
I'm done. I quit.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So let's move on, shall we? Now I'll set the stopwatch and we'll get 60 seconds. Here we go, Maria. Maria's doing Breaking Dawn in 3,
Part
2, 1, go.
We start off Breaking Dawn with the preparations for Edward and Bella's wedding. Alice has planned everything. Bella's done nothing for this wedding. What a fucking selfish chick. So the wedding starts happening. They have the wedding. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Bella's gonna wait till after her honeymoon to become a vampire because she wants to feel that dick while she's human. So she goes off on her honeymoon with Edward. A couple days later, whoop-de-doo, she missed her period. Wait, can that actually happen? And she actually ends up being pregnant with
'Cause they
Edward's
fucked.
baby. They
didn't
had
say that.
cestus.
Yeah.
They had cess. So then she got preggers, and
30 seconds.
they come back. Bella is like not doing well. The baby's sort of sucking all the life out of her from the inside
Sort
out.
of.
Well, very much sucking the life out of her. They realize the baby actually needs blood, starts drinking blood, and then the baby breaks Bella's back
10 seconds.
to be born. They do a C-section, baby comes born, Edward bites her, and then the
5,
venom, and then the last thing she
4,
goes, she becomes a vampire.
3, 2, 1. Good job. Yeah, that's it.
Try to make it fun
All
in
right.
there, but
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode.
That's it.
That's it. That's the
That's
book.
all,
That's the
folks.
book. That's the first
movie.
movie. That's the first movie.
Okay.
So
Let's stay in order here. The movie opens with the wedding.
It opens with Bella trying on heels
It goes on for way too fucking long.
because they have to fill a whole movie.
There's a scene where a whole song plays of
Yep.
her walking down the aisle. And it's slow motion.
Did you notice the long, like 2-second close-up of Stephanie Meyer
There was one?
Yeah.
She was in this movie too?
Yeah.
What part? Was she a wedding
when
guest?
she was walking on the aisle? They cut to Stephanie Meyer like
How do you...
a medium close-up,
How
good
are
2.5 seconds, and I go
How are you so self-absorbed? that you need to-
because honestly, it's because it was the last movie, so everyone's like, you're seeing your final book, you know.
I am going to argue this point on the wedding, and it's good. I don't think you're going to agree with me,
We usually don't.
but this is a romance series. And we
Paranormal
are,
romance.
it's a paranormal romance, but it is a romance. And the whole point of the series is their relationship. And we are now
I think that's
coming,
the problem I have with the book.
we are coming to the crest. What am I trying to say? The crescendo
Climax. Oh, the crescendo.
of these two characters like finally finding their happy ever after. So that's why I think the wedding was so long, because it was like this like big buildup of the last 3 books.
Plus the budget, you got to put that
No, but
time on screen for that.
I think they could have cut it if they wanted to. I don't think it was necessarily like a
it's
filler, because it was a 2-hour movie.
This
2-hour
romance, this moment that you're talking about, so magical.
It's Edward's big moment.
It's trying to make it feel bigger than.
It's completely overshadowed by the fact that she still has this weird ass relationship with Jacob. An inappropriate, weird, fucking. The only word I can use is weird. It's weird. So it's
explained.
Like Jacob's not there at the wedding.
It's explained.
I understand, but like Jacob's not there at the wedding. Okay.
No.
But then he shows
was
up.
invited.
No, but he shows up
invited.
out of the woods.
The first scene is him throwing the invite on the floor, like all mad, and runs away and turns into a wolf.
Okay, but then so Edward and Bella are married.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Happily ever after.
And Jacob appears from the woods.
Yep.
And Bella runs over and hugs him, and they start slow
Jumps
dancing.
on him all weird.
They slow dance.
Slow dance.
If you are Eddie in this situation, you're really gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, that's my wife just slow dancing with the guy that keeps trying to fucking make out with her and is in love with her."
There's a
no!
lot
No!
There's but there has been many moments like that in this series.
Eclipse alone, he was cuddling her in the freaking tent.
No.
And basically, like,
We're 4 books in. You're just now getting mad.
I
at
just
me?
honestly, I reject it.
Okay.
That's it.
I think you're a little late to the party.
I mean, I've said it this entire time. I was like, this is
For sure.
weird. The
yes.
tent thing was weird.
but it eventually
But
gets
it's extra
explained.
weird that
It gets
they're
explained.
married.
It gets explained.
It
But I
eventually
have to
gets
explain it to you in
explained.
part 2. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait until
Seriously?
yeah,
next
this
month.
is your fault.
There's not a single explanation that can fucking make me okay with it.
The
You don't have to be okay with it. It's gonna be explained though.
You know,
Okay.
you know what the best part about this
What?
is? The explanation is so fucking weird that you're gonna lose
Yeah,
your fucking
you're gonna
shit
lose it. You're
once
gonna
you get
lose
the explanation explains it 100%.
Oh my god.
But it's so fucking weird
It's
that
stupid.
it makes you want to die, and you wish you wish that you didn't actually know what the explanation. You wish it was.
Yeah.
I would wish to be where you are right now,
Yeah.
to live in the blissful ignorance that is Kristin Greco as of today with Breaking Dawn. That is what
I
I,
can't
wish
wait to hear this.
for myself
I
and
can't
for
wait.
all
Honestly,
other Twilight fans.
You're pumping me up.
You are so right.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, I can't even picture.
Well, it gets
a worse.
It gets
a worse
worse
scenario.
It gets worse as we go. So let's just keep going. They're married, and then they go on their honeymoon.
They go bone in Brazil
The honeymoon fucking
on
blows.
Isle Esme, a whole
Well-
island that they own.
No, the honeymoon was cool. That like they showed up to this. Where did they go originally?
So-
Barcelona.
Brazil,
Oh, Brazil.
and then off of Brazil, there's an island
Yeah.
that Carlisle years ago gifted Esme. It's called Isle Esme. Ain't that cute? What Carlisle does?
After reading, so like
If your man doesn't buy you an island,
What's the point?
leave him.
okay, so they have sex a couple of times. He marks her up, and he feels really bad.
Whoa, you're
about,
going too fast.
It doesn't matter. We're breezing by it.
He's breezing by the sex, bro. That's, it wasn't good.
I need to talk about it.
I'm circling back to the sex. He bruises her up, and then he goes, "I can't have sex with you on our
Ever
honeymoon.
again.
I will
On
not
our-
touch you.
on our 3-week, 4-week, whatever, how long that fucking super long honeymoon.
I won't touch you again.
I don't
want to
touch you again until you're a vampire," which is literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
If a woman is saying like, "No, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. Please." Like, why wouldn't you just
completely
listen?
disregarding.
Yeah.
Listen, this is something that
hate
Edward's
that
been from
shit.
the beginning.
Yeah.
He's a control freak manipulator.
Right.
Okay.
This is where Christian Grey
Sidestep.
gets his thing.
We're working through this. Now that I've read so many,
an egregious amount.
an egregious amount of paranormal everything, romance. I have yet to come across a man in any of the books that I've read that have not gotten harder from seeing a mark that he left on his girl.
Oh, good point.
Oh, I
'Cause
I have not read those books.
Well, Eddie's a respectable Mormon.
No,
So
yeah. A respectable Mormon vampire, but it just doesn't make sense in the scope of this genre. All of these guys,
But this was
like
way
seeing,
before any of those.
No, I'm just saying, but not. It's not.
It's its own genre. We went over this. You said it. You were
No,
like,
I know.
It's its own thing. It's
because
incomparable.
it was. Yes,
These are your words.
it is. It's incomparable in the sense that they set a YA fantasy genre of this.
Yeah.
But there were adult ones, so you can't tell me this. She didn't come up with vampires fucking
I agree.
virgin like relationship on her own.
Totally, but you had even said like it's its own thing. Like
We can't compare it like side by side with another book series
No, it's his own
at that
thing.
time.
No.
okay.
But there were other vampire novels that were out before this that
Oh, yeah.
she obviously had
Right.
to take influence from.
But she wanted to
None
make
of
it her own
those-
though. She
but
wanted to
that's
make
what
it
I'm
her own.
saying. None of the it just doesn't follow any of the same like guidelines of paranormal romance ever. The guy in the romance always likes to mark up his bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that it's so far fetched from vampires in general, but most of these romances
Did you
are.
notice that in the last film, at least I noticed it big time in the last film, is there was sunshine at this wedding?
There was sunshine the entire time.
I
They
will,
were on
I
an
will
island.
die on this fucking hill.
What is the UV index?
No, they gave up on this. We already went over this. They gave
but
up on this.
but I
sparkle.
noticed it even more
Yeah.
in the movie this time because they're at the last. Well, I can't talk about.
They
the
just
movie
don't
too.
sparkle anymore.
But they're not sparkling.
Yeah, they
so
don't
I'm
do
just
that
like,
anymore.
you've built this whole thing about these
Why bring
vampires
it
that
up?
sparkle.
Yeah,
You should have gotten rid of it from the beginning.
I agree.
It should have been gone from book one,
I agree.
right?
Yep.
Keep it in the books, whatever, but get rid of it in the
Or
movies.
giving
because
us a UV index. Give us something like, oh, but
there
when
were
it's
literal
cloudy, it's fine.
rays of sunlight
I
at
know.
the wedding, and I'm sitting there like,
I know.
I think if they did it, if they could have. There's been so many movies that have adjusted things from books and just changed it slightly to make it
Yeah.
not fucking lame.
Yeah.
And they could have just made it him not sparkly. They could
That's
have
what I'm
just made
saying.
him like burn.
Yeah.
yes, get rid of it in the
But
movie
like no, they
form.
could have kept the essence of it,
Of the sparkle, but just burns.
but burned. So
Okay.
then
Yeah.
like then it wouldn't be as ridiculous because then it's like, all right, if he's burning up on his own, then like nobody's knowing that. It might
Right.
just hurt him.
Right.
Like you
Okay.
could have changed, you could have adjusted it to make it not so fucking like visually obvious for people who are not.
yeah,
No, I
especially after
agree.
going like if you see movie 1 and movie 4
So
side
different.
by side,
Yeah.
it's completely different on the
I
sparkle
think the director
spectrum.
is different.
Yes,
Probably.
the director is completely different.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of money, all that CGI.
the
They gotta
first-
save it for the baby.
The worst CGI in
The
history.
wolf
I
stuff
think.
was really bad too. But.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the sex because you kind of breezed right over it.
It
In the
was
book?
stupid.
in the book. It was very underwhelming.
That's what I wanted to
Right?
know.
It's faded black.
Okay.
Barely even. Make
I mean,
out.
it was fade to black in the movie too.
Yeah, but you show him making out in the movie.
Oh, that you don't see him making out in the book.
I
or
wrote it
anything?
here. Not even a makeout scene.
Oh.
LOL. Edward bit the pillows.
So how do you know?
Fucking
Okay, so how do you know?
400-year-old virgin bites the pillows.
How do you know they had sex in the book? Do they say that
Yeah,
specifically?
yeah.
Do they use the word sex?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay,
It's
so-
very YA. Very like,
Yeah.
we became one kind of thing.
Like how
Not
you
even
mentioned
ma-
death.
Not
yeah.
even make love. Just
yeah,
like
no,
yeah.
it's like
You know,
we joined.
we conjoined.
also the scene in the movie where she has a dream
Yeah.
about like having a moment with Edward, like close to sex. In the movie, in the book, she's having like a sex dream about Edward, and then wakes up and she's like, I wanted it to be real, and she's literally bawling her eyes out,
Crying.
Mike got
Crying.
Yeah, Mike
and
got very
then
confused.
Edward has sex with her.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Well, okay, so Mike was very confused during that whole thing,
Crying.
as was I, because he thought that their actual sex scene where he broke the bed, he was like, no, that was a dream. I'm like, no, it wasn't. The
no, that was
rest
a
of-
real one.
Yeah, because so when they have sex, it's missionary, and he grabs the bed frame,
Crush.
and it breaks. They weren't having wild sex. That's
No,
not
they
how the bed
barely
broke.
moved. They barely moved.
The bed
No, it was
broke
him
because he
because-
was strong.
He was strong and he needed something to take it out on.
Past the sex, so they have sex once and obviously get pregnant. How... This
You
is the
ready?
most important question.
Are you ready to find out how and why?
How did Edward come?
He just does.
can
But I thought he couldn't
That's
come.
not.
He can
No
come.
one ever said he couldn't.
Yeah.
No one has ever said that Edward can't come.
Why can't Edward come?
He's a vampire. Do vampires come?
In this book, yeah. So essentially,
They're
here's,
dead.
Here's the
Their
story.
bodily
you ready?
functions are
You ready
different.
for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reasoning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that Bella gets pregnant is because basically he's an incubi.
What does that mean?
He's like a sex demon in a way. In a way, it's related to incubi, where they
Okay.
can impregnate human women,
Sure.
and that's how the human women die from getting impregnated with these demon babies. That is what is cited as the source for the reasoning. And I wrote down here that in chapter 7, Bella mentions that, oh yeah, this came up when I was first researching vampires way back in Twilight book 1, that this had popped up about vampire children, or like incubi children. And she was like, oh, yeah, that must be what it is. And I was like, how convenient that she saw vampire baby info on the internet from her search in book 1, but you didn't mention it in book 1, you mentioned it in the book 4.
Oh, yeah, that was
also like you
clutch.
didn't think you were going to get pregnant, even though you knew that was a possibility. On top of the fact
you
that
had
nobody
seen it.
could have figured, nobody knew anything about it, that Alice had to go to the fucking Amazon to find more information.
Yeah, it's the Brazilian Amazon to find somebody.
Why didn't they just wear
But
a
it's
condom?
online.
Did they think that she couldn't get
think she
pregnant?
could. But I'm like, but if you saw it online in book, it's a plot hole.
Yeah, no, of course.
But that's the reason. That's how she gets preggers.
So she's like one of two that's ever been pregnant from a vampire.
Yes.
But if you are a vampire
that we know of, there could be more.
You can get pregnant. If 2 vampires have sex, you can get pregnant?
No.
So the only way to become a vampire is to get bit.
Yes.
The only way.
Yes.
Except in these 2 cases.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And she's
I didn't think of that.
Renesmee is not a she's a half breed.
What would make it?
Not half breed,
But
like
okay,
hybrid.
what would make it that vampires can't get pregnant? Like, what would make it? Is it their anatomy?
Once I
Because
guess
then, to me, then why can he come?
You're making great points, but again, it's a plot hole.
Doesn't make sense.
It's a flaw.
Big, gaping, wide, virgin plot hole.
So when she gets pregnant, immediately showing in 15...
Tell me you don't know how sex works without telling me you don't know how sex works.
Oh my God.
Stephanie
Also,
Meyer.
gotta love Edward and his stance on abortion.
It's amazing. They just get...
Edward is pro.
Yeah.
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice is Edward.
Pro-choice.
Yeah.
All the wolves are also pro-choice.
Are they?
They wanted to kill the baby.
Yeah, they wanted to kill the baby.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wanted to kill this fucking baby.
Yeah, because it's going to be bad, right?
Everybody
I didn't get that.
is
Is it bad baby? Bad baby? Demon baby? They think it's going to be a demon baby?
bad baby. It sounds like me scolding my dog.
They think it's a
Bad
vampire
baby,
being
bad.
born. And so they're like, that's a danger to everybody. We don't know what that is.
Got it.
So they were
So
going to
let's talk about her
baby.
pregnancy. She gets pregnant, and 15 days later, she's got a bump. Obvious.
A bump. It looks like a mountain.
Yeah, I was like, at first I was like, this is so unrealistic, and then I was like, oh yeah, duh, it's just a fucking demon baby.
I thought the CGI of her getting skinnier was actually really good.
That was wild.
The thing
I
is,
thought
she
it was
also
really good.
started the movie very skinny.
But she was getting pregnant fast, like immediately feels like the kicking or whatever, and then Jacob is like finds out right away that she's pregnant, goes to the house and is like, I can't believe this, like blah blah blah, right? Like,
She's gonna die.
She's gonna die. She's gonna die. Now comes towards the end where she needs to have this baby because it's fucking her up. You said it broke her back. I didn't remember that.
You didn't see the end of the movie? Which is at the one point, she's like,
she like gets up.
I missed it.
It's like the most like scary part. It's like
I
body
think I
No,
was
that's what-
looking at my cat.
That's
at
what
the time.
causes the whole thing to her
Oh, yes,
she like snaps her back.
Yes, I did. I remember that now.
And then
something that
Edward
was not
catches
in
her.
the movies. Which you've read the books.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Jacob has a sister?
What?
Yeah.
He has
It's
a sister?
There's some like random details.
Was it
like
ever
that
mentioned
were-
in books 1 through 3? Because I don't remember any mentioning of Jacob having a sister in books 1 through 3.
Weird. I didn't
In
know
this
that.
book, we mention a sister out of nowhere.
Whoever the girl was that
Leah?
stuck with Jacob and the boy were
Seth.
probably the worst act. I'm sorry, but they were bad.
I liked Seth.
They
He was
were
cute.
bad
She's a bad
actors.
actor. They're all bad actors.
Yeah.
So I wish that Leah, that wolf, was the one that Jacob would have imprinted on, because that would have been
that would've been cute.
That would have been a great relationship, because it starts off because they hate each other, enemies to lovers kind of thing. She's like the only female wolf, and they mention so the book goes from Bella's perspective into Jacob's perspective for like another half.
Oh, really?
It's fucking terrible.
Oh, I didn't know this.
It's all Jacob's perspective.
Oh,
so
God.
we're not even with Bella
Oh God.
through her pregnancy
It's first
in
person
the book. It's
isn't
first
it?
person.
I forgot about that.
So he breaks away from Sam and the pack because he wants to protect Bella. And so Seth and Leah leave the pack to go help Jacob.
Yeah.
Right? We find out that Leah used to be in love with Sam, and ex-girlfriend of Sam's. Mm-hmm. And Leah talks about how she wishes she could just imprint on somebody so she can no longer like think about Sam.
Aww.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it?
And he doesn't imprint either. I'm like, you guys could have imprinted on each other.
Yeah.
And you could have saved each other a lot of hurt.
Yep.
And you could have saved us from having to have Jacob imprint on a baby.
Let's get to the baby because this is so important.
The worst.
Bella
CGI
has
baby.
the baby. Of course, Carlisle is nowhere to be seen.
Your boy didn't do shit.
I'm
He's the
upset
doctor.
with Carlisle.
He was out going to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, he needed the energy. It's fine. So Carlisle,
vampire, doesn't need energy.
the one person that can help them all, is gone. So fucking Eddie needs to deliver this baby.
Eddie and Jacob.
So Bella starts having the baby, and Eddie just straight up fucking slices her
Cuts
as
her
a
open.
C-section, pulls the baby out, like bites something. Was that the umbilical cord that he bit?
No.
At one point, he like reached down as he's delivering the baby and bit something. Part of me
did
thinks
he?
it's the
He
yeah.
might
That's
have.
why he had blood on his mouth.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
I thought he was
So-
biting her to put the venom in her.
I think he did that after. He
Oh.
did that after.
I mean,
You know,
he
well,
definitely-
he stabbed her with the
Yeah,
his
he
blood.
bit her first and then stabbed.
No, he stabbed her first and then went around and bit her whole body because she wasn't waking up.
So
So
he was putting more venom in her body.
yeah, so but I think that one time though he
It
bit the
might have been,
umbilical cord.
yeah.
So he's got the baby. The baby looks normal when it first comes out.
Normal baby.
It's a fucking baby.
Yep.
It looks like a baby. And then and Bella dies, and they're trying to bring her back by putting, his venom in it, whatever. Then there's a scene where Edward pulls up the baby, and it's purely a CGI baby.
It's
I just
insane.
want to know what the reason, like, what
I
was
think
that
it's
executive
because
decision?
It's in my head. It's because they have a girl to play Renesmee in
fucking name.
I
That
know
name.
in book 2 in the second movie.
Yeah.
We have the girl who's from The Conjuring. So
it needs to
she's
look
already
like
been
her.
casted, and by the end of movie 2, she looks like she's 12 or 10, 9 or 10.
Okay.
So I think they're looking for a baby that matches her face.
That's such a horrible
And I'm like,
decision.
who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Just have
nobody would notice.
Babies change a ton.
Nobody would notice.
So why would you have to put a baby that looks like the other one?
That's nuts.
So I just looked it up, and the director, they tried to make a Chucky baby, like an
animatronic baby.
baby.
What? Why?
And they said it was the most horrifying
It's
thing
scary as fuck.
that they ever saw. So then the reason they wanted to do that was to make the baby seem like otherworldly.
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
it was a huge failure.
Yeah. It looked like it was otherworldly and like a
give
CG.
me like a glowing baby, like just CGI glow on
But
the baby.
even then, like,
Give it weird eyes. Give it red eyes. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's different. So the baby, this scene is so weird. Jacob walks in and he sees the baby, and there's all these like moments where he sees that flash forward of them like together.
when she gets older,
And this is the moment I guess he imprints.
he's imprinting. Yeah,
So-
he's going in to kill this baby because Bella's dead.
What does that really mean when you imprint on something?
That's his life partner. That's his soulmate right there.
So that literal newborn is who he is
He
with.
will end up with. Yep.
Yep.
But in the beginning,
And he's what, 17?
he's 16, 17. Yeah, 17.
So this 17-year-old boy saw a newborn
yep.
and said, "This is my mate."
Mm-hmm. But
That's
doesn't say it that way.
Fucking
Wait, we're on book-
weird.
You're
This is part
This
one.
is the end of part 1.
Yeah, towards
No.
the end.
oh
Yeah.
It's
doesn't print,
revealed.
yeah.
It's revealed that when he goes back to his pack, he says, "I imprinted on her, so now you can't touch her." Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. So
Yep.
part of me was like, okay, was he trying to save the baby? But also he had that vision, so he definitely like actually imprinted on her.
No, he did. Like if
Was
he
this-
lied, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Was this ever weird? Like at the time when you read the book, where you're like, "That's a little weird."
every single person who read it thought it was the
But
weirdest
also,
thing
he's
ever.
not the only one. Like there's also I think in Eclipse, one of the others imprints on a child as well.
That's weird.
And Jacob even
Oh,
says it.
yeah,
He goes,
yeah.
"That's weird. She's like 4 years old."
Wait,
And
really?
he's like, "It's not like that, Jacob. It's like I'm like her friend, her protector. Like it's not."
But you
It's
have
not
the
like that.
intention of eventually being with this.
Yeah.
Like, how could you hang out with a 3-year-old and be like, "Okay,
you know
I'm
what
gonna
it feels
fuck
like?
this
It feels
person
like one
eventually"?
of those old guys who sees an 18-year-old and he's like, "You 18 yet?"
That's called grooming,
yes,
which makes sense because he's a wolf.
because he has to get groomed.
Thank
As
you.
a dog.
Thank you for
Okay.
understanding.
Okay.
Also, there's a moment where he gets all disgusted when Bella's drinking blood, and I'm like, "You're a fucking dog. You probably lick your own asshole. You probably smell your own shit.
Yeah.
You probably hump trees."
Arguably, Jacob is one of the most prejudiced characters.
I actually hate him.
in
I never
like,
knew.
books that I've read.
I need to know why there was ever a
Arguably.
Team Jacob, because he's a horrible character.
He's
the more
prejudiced,
I watch.
and it doesn't
Team
matter how
Jacob
you
was
like.
good.
He grabbed her at the wedding, like, "You can't do that." He's abusive.
They turned him bad. I feel like again, like
Is he good in the book?
Talked, no.
Oh.
He went bad after New Moon, and I've said this before. New Moon was when we were starting a true love triangle, and because they were trying to force it as like, no, Edward and Bella are endgame, like they're the one true pairing, they're like soulmates. They didn't want to. I think Stephanie didn't want to add that, you know, avenue of a true other person to be able to take Bella, you know, because in my head, how he treated Bella, how he took care of Bella made sense. You know, in New Moon, it made sense why he was prejudiced, because he was raised that way,
right,
with these legends,
right,
and all he saw was how much he hurt Bella when Edward left. So like that in that book makes total sense. Yeah, but then once it gets to Eclipse, it gets to Eclipse, he changed. I kept saying Eclipse does not sound like these characters. It's a complete different characterization. Edward is way more manipulative. Jacob is super like aggressive and like verbally abusive, aggressive. Like very stalkerish, and it doesn't make any sense.
I hated him,
and that's where it all went downhill with all three of them.
Yeah. How did this end? It was she turns into a vampire.
Her eyes open and they're red.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good ending.
That was a great. I knew that was how it was going to end, so I was like, thank God we're getting to the end.
I think that was the best. That was the best way to end that.
Yeah.
So now she's a new vampire. So are like new vampires in this world like most new vampires were like super blood hungry and like
that's the beginning of movie 2.
Movie 2 is going to be good. We got a vampire on our hands. Everybody keeps telling me in the comments and the messages. Better. Part 2 is so good. I'm like, you don't think that I'm going to like this.
It is a lot better.
It is, but because it's not about her.
There is a part in the next movie that like nobody, even book readers, didn't see coming.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell me.
People get so mad about it.
It is
mad.
Probably. Yeah. There's a lot of contention about it. But it's one of the craziest things.
If it's a Jacob thing, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, we're not gonna say no more.
All right, yeah,
it's crazy.
I want to.
We could have had it in this episode,
and I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to tell you how I felt at the midnight premiere watching it, and how the vibes were in the theater.
I think I must have seen it in theaters, and I don't remember.
Okay, I'm getting all excited now.
I honestly don't think I had watched this film since its release.
I don't even know what the big bat what's the point of
another Volturi.
Oh, so what's that blonde chick?
What the next
that looks like Dakota Fanning?
She's Dakota Fanning.
It is Dakota Fanning. Oh my God, is it actually?
Yeah.
This whole time I've been like, oh, that's Dakota Fanning, like
Jane
joking.
Looks like she is Dakota Fanning.
Oh, that's funny.
So the next part of the book and the next movie is basically people find out that this is a half.
Isn't that what they wanted the whole time? Oh, the baby. Forgot about the baby.
You're not allowed to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, they wanted her to be a vampire the whole time,
but they're scared. They're scared because they don't know what it is.
Do you remember Renesmee's middle name?
She has a middle name.
They didn't mention in the movie, but do you remember it?
It's something so stupid.
The fact that they were gonna name him EJ if it was a boy, Edward Jacob.
Listen,
get the fuck out of here.
Renesmee, Carly.
Oh, yeah, it's Charlie. Yeah.
It's Charlie and Carlisle together.
Who? Can you imagine Stephanie writing this?
Carly Cullen.
Imagine Stephanie writing this and was like, "Yes, this is good. This is the shit right here." I bet she was so excited about it. She was like, "These flow so perfectly." Renesmee. Do you think anybody out there is named Renesmee right now because they named their kid that?
I do.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That poor kid.
There's not.
Because
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Actually.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So you guys remember? You guys remember? Wait, what did you say?
We want to see if there's anybody out there named Renesmee because you know somebody.
Trisha Paytas mentioned that she likes the name Renesmee.
Shut the fuck up.
She said on a live.
I'm not surprised.
She's like, but she said as if she's never heard Twilight before. She goes, "I like the name Renesmee. That's nice. That's a nice name."
Oh no.
For her kid. I'm like,
I'm not surprised.
Anyway. So you guys remember in the movie where Edward is talking to Jacob and said, "Can you help me convince her to get rid of this baby? She can't have this baby.
Yes.
It's just gonna kill her."
Yes.
Yada yada. In the book, Edward says, if what she wants is a baby, I'm totally fine with her having puppies.
What?
As in, like, Jacob, if you convince her to get rid of this baby, I will let you impregnate her.
Are you
if what she wants is a baby?
Me?
Yes. I'm not kidding you.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't remember that.
It's in chapter.
This throuple, weird, like this
Where is
weird
it?
fucking threesome.
Anyway, I wrote it down.
Why don't they all just get married to each other, the three of them?
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Edward offering to share. Jacob impregnated shared. He's like, I don't mind if she's shared for this.
Whoa.
If that was literally put on the table.
Whoa.
Where Edward tells him, I will let you impregnate her if you convince her not to have this baby.
This would have been a much better story if Bella had just gotten with that kid that loved her in the beginning that was normal.
Mike.
If Bella and Mike just fell in
Also,
love and got married,
The wedding scene, everyone doing the speeches.
Fucking Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick is like, even though she's not the captain of the volleyball team.
I was like, this is like literally
like-
a child wrote
I'm
this.
like, Anna,
A child
get
wrote this
over
book.
it. You're with Mike right now.
Oh my god.
Also, who let her speak?
that was so like 2009 funny.
Well, the book premiered in 2008.
All right.
Okay, wait.
Okay. I wanna wrap this up.
154 baby girls named Renesmee in 2020.
Oh my goodness.
In
2020? Well, think about it. Now is the time that era of people is having kids. Right? Like,
Yeah,
Erica,
you're
you were
right.
into Twilight back in the day.
You're right.
You're having a baby right now. Like,
Right.
that's what happened. They grew up. It's like the Game of Thrones thing. The people that were watching it were already adults. So that's why we have so many Aries. And
What's funny is
Not
like
Arya.
I've always mentioned before I saw Game of Thrones, I've always thought if I had a girl, I'd name her Arya
I love that
because it's Maria without the M.
Aw.
But Game of Thrones has ruined it for
I
me.
know. All right. Let's wrap this up. I'm done talking about Breaking Dawn. Breaking Dawn.
Oh,
I know I'm
just
gonna
have
have to talk
deja
about it
vu.
again. All
Oh,
right.
I wanted to show you the scene.
No.
I wanted to show. Oh, I have to refresh the page.
No.
I don't. No, I don't.
Show us after.
No, I want to show you real quick. I want to show you fucking.
Nobody
Stephanie
can
Meyer.
see it.
Okay, so I'll show you then.
Okay.
End it out. End out the scene.
Done talking about Breaking Dawn. However, I know we have a whole nother part to go. Maybe we'll do that in our next batch. That'll be our next movie. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. If you haven't watched the following Creature Cafe, number 3.
Little Lick of Lust.
It's 90 pages. You can literally
90.
read it from now until next week. I'm telling you, you can read it if
I read it in like an
even
hour
if you're
or
a
2
slow
hours.
reader, you can read it quick.
And I kept getting distracted for work.
So read that, so you'll be in the know when we talk about it next week.
Wow, it has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Audience or critic?
I think audience is
Audience.
60. 25 is
Critic.
No, I know, but for audience, that's not
60.
bad.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of
'Cause
people that were
nostalgia.
obsessed with it. Okay. Thank you
is
so
it?
much
Where
for
is it?
joining
Where is
us. Please follow us on Instagram. That's books_n_betches, BETCHES. Click the link tree. You can follow us on Discord or join our Discord where we talk to you. And join
We
our
have
Patreon.
mad deleted scenes on the Patreon.
Yeah, we've been putting all of
So.
our deleted scenes on Patreon. We also have like full episodes over there. We're doing Gothicana soon. I think we're recording that in like a couple days, so that'll be
Monday.
fun. And you can actually be on the podcast to if you join our Patreon. You have a chance of
You have
being
a chance to win to be on the podcast.
on. That's all really. We'll see you next week. Get ready for Creature Cafe.
Bye.
Okay, bye.